Welcome to Mini Stories, where we will be listening to Reddit stories. Am I the asshole for telling my sister-in-law to butt off and let me eat food the way I want? I, 36 female, am a white girl married into a Japanese family. My husband's family has never really accepted me because I am white, but they're not that bad most of the time. Usually, they are just cold, but my sister-in-law is very hostile, especially when it comes to food. I don't like sushi, and my sister-in-law always tried to get me to eat it and has yelled at me for things like using too much soy sauce, eating my dumpling whole and not dipping it in sauce first, mixing wasabi with my soy sauce, drinking sake with rice, etc. Recently, we went out for dinner with them for my birthday. I am okay with chopsticks, but I still struggle with them sometimes. I was trying to pick up a piece of meat and I just used one of the chopsticks to stab the meat and eat it. Sister-in-law immediately started yelling at me, saying I was disrespectful. I told her I would eat my food however I liked and to please mind her own business. She always does this and I have had enough. People can eat however they like. I am sick of her picking at my food habits. She said I was being disrespectful to her culture. I told her how I chose to eat food is my choice and to mind her own business. Things got ugly and I left. My husband stayed with them. I have been married to him for 5 years and dating for 7. I have learned his language and speak Japanese with his family. His family has had none of that same respect for me. To this day, none of his family has ever tried Egyptian food or tried to learn the language. I have been expected to learn it even though they speak perfect English. We live in Europe, yet I am always expected to conform to his culture. Am I the asshole? Edit. Every time I ask for a fork, his family gets very offended, so I can't ask for one. 99% of the time I do okay with chopsticks. This piece was just tiny and slippery. I used the bottom chopstick to just poke it a little for extra grip, then used the other one. Relevant comments. Really consider if this relationship is worth a lifetime. The fact that he stayed with his family and not you is telling. He's the eldest son, so he is very protective of them, especially my sister-in-law, the youngest sibling and only sister. On how they acted before, I see this. When me and my husband were friends, they were nice. The attitude started when we began dating. Now deleted comment says she isn't assimilating enough. What more assimilation do they want? I speak their language, celebrate their holidays, visit extended family in Japan, respect their traditions, wear their ceremonial outfits, and had an entire Japanese marriage ceremony just for them. Meanwhile, they don't even know how to say hello in my language. You learn Japanese, but not how to use chopsticks? I know how to use them, I just did it this one time without thinking. I didn't impale it like a sword, I just poked it a little to get a better grip. Just use a fork. They won't let me request one at restaurants. It becomes a whole thing. You talked about Egyptian things, but do you actually participate in that culture? Sounds like whataboutism. I was born and raised there my whole life, so I am Egyptian. It's not whataboutism. It's about me going the extra mile when they won't. Clarifying nationality and where they live. I'm sorry your brain can't comprehend multiple nationalities in one post. I am Egyptian, my husband is Japanese, and we live in Europe. I have never been to America. Update, edit 2, I guess me and some of the people here have different definitions of culture. For me, culture is about treating people with kindness and respect. I think some of you think I impaled the meat or something. I did not. I just poked it a little for extra grip and ate it quickly. It was not the sort of thing you would even notice unless you were closely looking at someone, like my sister-in-law was. If you consider culture to boss people around and tell them how they can eat and enjoy their food, then that is not a culture I want to be a part of. Some of these comments have opened my eyes to the ways my husband has been failing me, and I didn't want to see it. We talked today and I asked him to live with his family. We will be divorcing. I guess I never wanted to admit to myself how bad things were and how disrespectful his family was. I learned their language when they never learned mine. I learned their customs when they didn't learn mine. I celebrated their holidays when they didn't bother to do the same. Yet to them and many of you, I am still the disrespectful one. Relevant comments. OP responds to speculation as to why he married her if he wouldn't stick up for her. I think he wanted his exotic fantasy. While I am white, I do have ethnic features because of my dad. Regardless, we're done. As a response to someone saying Japanese food culture is a thing. If this behavior is what is considered Japanese culture, then thank God I will no longer take part in it. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, like, comment, share, and subscribe.